Yeah, hello on Facebook too, on TikTok too. So, this is what we teachers have to deal with. We have to be very well with technology, very much aware. I'll try to follow all the comments because I'm going to ask questions today. So, welcome everyone. My name is George Alex, and I decided to have this live just to share with you a few things that I've been thinking about this week. And generally, when I say live, I really look at this as something that it's kind of sharing. I didn't prepare any special presentation. I didn't prepare any very deep thing to share with you. I'm sharing from experience and from what I have learned through the years from my students. So, when we are talking about English and learning English, very often people associate that with grammar, vocabulary. They need to learn things, and they do. And quite a few people do really well, which is great. But then there are also areas and things that we need to take a look at and we need to discuss further. It's not just the learning and language part, it has a lot to do with what we think and what we believe. So today I'd like to challenge you. Let's start with this, well, let's say incomparable thing. Food and English, English and food. How do you think they are connected? When we talk about food and English, or especially English food, it's not the most popular cuisine, is it? So, what do you think? How are English and food connected? You can share in the comments. I'd love to see some comments. I don't know what's going on. Just in the last two lives, I didn't see anyone commenting, and I think there's something wrong with me. It is not possible for so many people to be attending and listening and watching and not share anything. So, what do you think? How is food and English connected with each other? No opinions, nothing. Yeah, this is what happens usually. But I didn't want just to make a video and present. I love interactivity. I love when I talk with people. I love when I see what you think, because for me, it's really important. And I decided to make this connection today because food is something that we all know it's important, it's necessary. But when we look at where we live, what is happening around us, I believe that English is as important as food. Can you really have a successful life business without knowing English nowadays? What do you think? Isn't English like bread that we need? And without it, we're somehow starved. We are not in our best shape. We cannot really achieve the goals that we have because most of it, even if not directly, a lot of the things that you read, a lot of the things that you listen to, they are in English. And you need to know English one way or another. So, my connection today is between how necessary it is to know English and to know English well enough. Not just hello, goodbye, sometimes it helps too, but depending on your goals, you need different ways, different styles, different methods. You need variety of English. So, what do I mean? When you go to a good hotel and you go to the buffet table, there are a lot of different meals there. Do you take from all of them? Is it possible? And you indulge yourself and you really try all of them. Have you tried that? I hope not, because then you would really burst. It's so much. And sometimes people do that with English. They study so much and they spend so much time learning that they really cannot take it in. So, depending on your goals, you need to have a special menu, special regime, special diet that you can really flourish and prosper while taking and using. Because very often people go, let's say you are a child, and what do you want to have? Chocolate, pizza, hamburgers, ice cream? These are usually things that children love. And they feel great with that. But just imagine eating that for a year, only that, or 2 years. This is what happens when people start learning English. They like this, they like that, they pick it and they start focusing there, but it's not really healthy. Why? Because in the long term, their teeth start to go bad, they start putting on weight because ice cream and chocolate, when you have too much, it's not really healthy for you. And when you do that with English, the same thing happens. So when you're a child, you like things, yeah, you learn things, yeah, but this is not really healthy. And quite often you cannot achieve your goal because this is very, let's say, one sided or very limited what you like. That's why people need teachers usually, but teachers are expensive. So when you go to a course, what happens? You have one menu for everybody. There's a group of 5, 10, 15 people, doesn't matter. And you are served the same thing, all of you. What happens? Some people can eat it for a month. Some people quit after the first week. Why? Because they don't like it. They don't understand it. It doesn't feel good. And this is what happens with English quite often. You don't feel good, you leave it. But that's not the only problem. When you have left once, twice, 3 times, you start and you quit and you start and you quit, then it turns out not just the physical problem, not just the mental problem, then there's some spiritual problem. You start feeling yourself a total failure in English. And you start thinking, I'm never going to learn that language. Like kids, oh, I'm never going to eat eggplants. Oh, I'm never going to eat olives. Do you agree? Have you got kids that really say the same? Well, just wait for a couple of years and they start eating that. They need that and they learn to go over what they initially like and don't like. And there are people like athletes. You cannot feed them chocolate and ice cream. They will do nothing. They need protein. They need a lot of carbs because they need to have energy. And the same with English. But does an athlete go to choose what they like or what they don't like? They won't achieve good results, will they? So when you have someone to help you, a dietitian, a teacher, to give you the right idea how much, when, how, then you can really achieve good results. Otherwise, yeah, you can be an athlete, but just an amateur who achieves something, but you cannot really have good results to make you stand out from the crowd. And what happens if you don't eat daily? This is the same thing with English. You don't use English, you forget it. You don't speak English, it gets very hard to start speaking again. So usually when my students stop studying and communicating and using English for, let's say, a couple of months, half a year, then the first thing that happens, they lose their confidence. they lose their fluency. It's very hard to make a sentence because they feel insecure. Not because they have forgotten all the grammar and words, they still know them, but they feel insecure. And this is what happens when you stop eating. You feel weak, you start feeling kind of bad, and it's normal. So we need this regular practice. And some people, if you really want to be the Olympic champion, you need to eat very good diet every day, not just on Sundays. This is something that you need to do and you need to have it on the table. But if you're not aiming for the Olympic gold, then okay, you can eat less, you can train less, you will have good results, yeah. And if you're happy with that, great. So, who is the person to decide how much you need? Food and English. Can you guess who that person is? No? No comment? No idea? Is it the boss? Is it the president of the country? Who decides how much you need? Well, it's you, of course. These are your goals. You know what you would like to achieve. At least I hope so. Then, based on that, you need to decide how much you need. English, food, whatever. But consult with someone to help you. Get the realistic view because quite often we don't have a realistic view. You know what? I had a very interesting case. A person came to me. His boss had sent him, and he said, well, the boss sent me because I work at the border. Hello, English Connect, whoever that is. And the person said, you need to teach me to ask questions because I work at the border, I work at the customs, and I need to ask questions. And I said, okay, yes, we can do that. There is, let's say, a certain amount of questions and grammar that you need to learn. We can do that within a month. It's all right. But what happens when people answer your questions? Well, the boss didn't say anything about that. So you can have this idea that when you master the questions, it's perfect. But what when people answer? How are you? Well, I'm fine, thank you. What are you on about? Well, I started talking about it, the connection between food and English. Glad that you joined. So, when we talk about this variety, what does that mean? English is not a school subject. English is something that we use in real life. It's a tool to achieve your goal. For example, if you're a doctor, and you need English to go to certain training or to read certain books or attend a seminar or make a presentation. This is one special kind of English that you need and special skills. You don't need to know the intricacies of reported speech, third conditional, sequence of tenses. No, you're not an English teacher. You don't need the, let's say, hard grammar. You need specific things, and that's why you need someone to help you. What are these things that you need? Or if you're planning a travel to, let's say, English speaking country, you don't need to learn a lot of grammar and you don't need to learn a lot of vocabulary. Because when you get there, you will see that they don't speak the kind of English that you studied. You need a lot of listening to different accents, different people speaking, so that you can be flexible and you can understand and you can answer those questions, you can communicate, you can do shopping, whatever you are planning to do. If you are planning to go to university and study in English, well, that's a totally different thing. You need academic English. But besides, you need a lot of writing because you're going to write reports, you're going to write reviews, you're going to write essays. You need some presentation skills because you're going to present in front of the tutor and all the others. So, depending on the goal, you need a special amount of the language, but mostly you need skills. And generally, teachers are those experienced teachers who can help you get the idea what you really need. Yes, people can help. For example, if you're starting a new job in a multinational company and they're going to tell you from the HR department, you need English for the job, so you're going to work in finance, you need financial English, you need accounting, and you need some SAP, for example, because we're using the system. And yes, I know. How are you going to learn that? So there are specific ways how you can build that knowledge into practical, applicable skill, not just something that you know and you have somewhere written in a notebook. So it's very important to get someone to help you. And when usually this is really funny, let me share this with you. A lot of my students come to me and they say, I want you to teach me business English. What does that mean? Business English is the stock exchange. Business English is world economy. Business English is presenting, let's say, green energy. Business English can be so many things. What exactly do you need? I'm in sales. Oh, that's different. What do you sell? Nothing yet, but I'm planning to. Oh, okay. So what are you planning to sell? I'm planning to sell flowers. Okay, so I'm not going to teach you how to sell cars or how to be a lawyer because that's business English too. We're going to focus on selling flowers. What do you need to sell flowers? You need skills, communication, small talk, polite way of saying things. So this is not just knowing English, it is knowing things and skills and building those skills that you will need for the job. And when we start and they learn quite a lot of business English, it becomes very funny when they go to, let's say, some networking event or some special banquet or whatever, and they meet people. All of them are business people. Most of them speak English, business English, but they don't know how to get acquainted. They don't know how to talk about things outside of their area of expertise. So I have a student and he said, well, I got my glass of wine, I went to a new person that I don't know, and I said, cheers, how are sales going in your country? I can tell you immediately this conversation didn't go very well. You don't start directly like that, do you? So you can say, nice to meet you. How was your flight? Do you like it here? Is this your first time at this event? And you start talking. And then at some point, you can ask, how are sales? Because, yeah, they are all interested in how sales are. But generally, you don't start directly with that. It's not really polite. It's not really okay. And people are kind of, oh, take your time, sir. Let me see. Maybe there's a cat calling me, or maybe there's the boss somewhere in the corner, and they just leave. So, learning English is just like going to the buffet, and there are all these different kinds of foods that you don't know anything about. Have you been to some exotic country? There are such types of fruits that you have no idea what they are. And then all of a sudden, you see something that looks very nice, and you say, "Oh, this looks delicious." You go and open it, and it turns out to be a durian fruit, and it smells, and everybody runs away. So the same with English. Very often, people pick up some things, and they turn out to be the wrong ones. So you need someone to help you, but mostly you need someone to help you build skills. Because believe me, when you use free materials, there are a lot, and I'm so happy that there are so many free materials. But you need to have someone, well, let's say 99% of the people. I know there's just 1% who can do it independently and alone, but most of the people, they need someone to coach them, to train them, to develop the habits. Can an athlete go to, let's say, the gym or the stadium or whatever and start training just on their own? They have no idea what they're doing, they have no idea what sport they're training. They need a coach. And especially when they really need to build the skill, there needs to be someone to say, well, you don't really do it like this. Do it this way, it's a lot better. So when you have some foundation and somebody has helped you to build this foundation, then you can continue building on your own, and from time to time just consult someone to help you and give you feedback whether you're going in the right direction. But generally, so many people today, they don't learn English because they're picking bits and pieces from here and there. They just go to the buffet, they take some things, they're not hungry anymore. But what happens tomorrow? What happens the day after? You cannot go to the buffet table and just pick up something. um, your all of your, let's say, English knowledge will be head knowledge, and you don't have skills. You need regular practice. You need someone to speak with. You need someone to correct you, because otherwise you can learn the worst slang there is. There are many people who know even more than me when it comes to F words and curse words. How is that really going to help you? I don't focus on that, and I don't care about all these very special phrases and words to offend you and to make you feel horrible. I don't care about that. I really want to know good English, and I really want to communicate with people, and I want to have language skills. This is what I'm after. And when you really have this good menu of what to learn, how to learn, and have this discipline. Do you know, my students that I tutor individually, they say, well, if we stop studying, I will stop studying English at all. Because if it were not for you to push me a little, to have you on my calendar and to know that I have a class with you, I totally forget. I'm so busy. And sometimes even that is a factor that we cannot neglect. We need someone to help us build the discipline. And like Jim Rohn says, what is success? It's a discipline practiced for a long enough period of time. And people are, well, I don't like saying that we as people are lazy. We're just very easy to get distracted. There's something new going on, there's a movie, there's a party, there are things happening, and you allow your focus to go in all kinds of directions. And like with food, sometimes you even forget to eat, don't you? Has it happened to you? You totally skip lunch or you skip dinner because you had something important to do. Nobody confesses, okay? You're not guilty, it's just me. I'm the only one who does that. You are so involved in the thing that you're doing that you forget about eating. That's what happens with English. If it's not your number one priority, and for example, you're getting ready for exam or some certificate or whatever, then it's quite possible that I don't have time for English today. Um, I'm so busy today. Maybe tomorrow. Let me in. Let me let you in on a secret. Tomorrow never comes. When it comes to studies, it's very hard to discipline yourself. It's very hard to do it alone. That's why Very often we need friends to help, we need a teacher to help, we need a community to help. So, based on all of this, I'm trying to squeeze into kind of half an hour my experience of over 35 years of teaching. But last year, I designed this course, LearnAbility course, where there are a lot of different modules, and it's like a buffet table. You go and pick things, and every day there's a lesson that you can do alone. But then on Tuesday and Thursday, we have online sessions where I'm there and you cannot hide. You need to speak, you need to practice, you have your coach to develop your skills. Because, everybody can do an online course. Have you done online courses? Oh, I've done thousands. Have they been effective? Yes and no. From some, I have really got some general ideas. From others, I have learned quite a lot, but it's been just head knowledge. And I always try to find real life contact, a tutor, a coach. Now I'm studying Italian because I love Italy. And well, I'm 55 plus and it's never too late. So I'm studying Italian at the moment. I am around A2, B1. And I joined a teacher and she said, oh, it's very basic. This course is very basic for you. I said, doesn't matter. I just need the community to speak with people and practice. And she said, okay, just hop in. We have the live sessions. So next week, I'm starting my Italian speaking Italian sessions. And it's very important for me because I need to practice and I need a teacher to listen to me and to say, yes, good job. Or we need to correct that. Because in this way, I'm building confidence. And when I go to Italy, I will not make the mistake again to say il sconto per favore, which means the discount please, because I was so nervous and I know this word. I meant il conto, which means the bill. But when you don't have this experience, when you don't have this exposure, when you don't have this coaching session to build the skill, and the teacher to say well done, the teacher to say well, that was a good session today, then you feel kind of very insecure, even though I know grammar that I'm not supposed to know in Italian, but I cannot use it very correctly and in the right place at the right time. Very often I make mistakes. Why? Because it hasn't been automated. It is just exercises, it is making sentences, arranging words, but it's kind of picking up from the table, eating something, munching, feeling kind of, yeah, I'm not hungry anymore. But then when I need to use it, it doesn't come handy. And I make horrible mistakes. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, nobody dies. But I need this practice. So that's why I will invite you to our free speaking session on the 26th of March. You can join and you can speak for 60 minutes, and there will be a teacher there who is not going to correct your mistakes, but I'm going to encourage you and I'm going to prove to you that you can speak in English. Because everybody who comes to these sessions, they speak for 60 minutes, for 1 hour. But then check the link in my profile. There's also the LearnAbility course that is available and you can do at your own pace. It's like a buffet table that you go and you take what you need. There's even some business English in it, and you can really build one on top of the other. Exercises, listening, writing, reading, everything. But then twice a week or once a week, depending on the plan, you have the real connection with me. You have writing sessions and special assignments that you do. I check them personally and then I give you my feedback. and we work on your sentence structure. We work on expressing yourself better and better. So, this is what I can do, and this is what I can offer you. Maybe it's not exactly what you thought, but it might be what you need. So, why don't you share in the comments? Have you really got anything from this session? Did anything kind of ring the bell while you were listening? What your plan is for studying further? I hope that you are all interested in learning English since you're here. Okay, anyone? Yeah, when I get to this point, this is really awkward because I went and I watched so many tutorials and I'm not doing anything wrong. So it's absolutely possible for people to write comments. Why don't they? It's quite possible to ask questions. Why don't they? This is something that is really shocking me. I can only see people joined and joined and joined and joined, and nobody is talking. Well, if you know me, I can talk nonstop. It's no problem for me. And that's how I improved my English through the years. Oh, hi! There's someone who said hi! Ready your bibli, whatever. So why don't you share? Did you like this live session? Did you learn anything? Oh, read your Bible. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. All right. No comments. On Facebook, there's nothing that surprising. Usually, people on Facebook they like talking. Not on my live sessions. Okay. Oh, you're from Mauritius. That's excellent. Haven't been there, but several of my students have, and they say it's paradise. Okay. No comments. Well, of course, you can go to my profile and you can send me an email. You can get in touch. There was someone who called me today. Yeah, I agree. Beautiful beaches. I love the beaches, but I haven't been to Mauritius yet. Maybe sometime soon. So you can get in touch with me. There's a person that called me today and said, well, I need this and that and that. Could you help me? And we talked. I believe I can help. So you can get in touch with me, but make sure you check the link and you sign up for the free speaking session. There's also a free ebook that you can download. I tried to do something to help you on your journey of learning English, but generally, yeah, this is what I believe. You need regular practice and you need a plan how to do it. So, my best wishes for you to find the right strategy because sometimes it is trial and error. You need to try several different ways until you really find what works best for you. But don't give up on the big goals. Maybe it seems too hard. Maybe it seems impossible. Never give up. English is the easiest language, believe me. I speak 6 languages and there hasn't been easier than English. So, my best wishes for success in whatever you're doing, whatever you're planning. And if I might be of any help, I would be really happy. I think I will say goodbye now because there are no questions. And get in touch with me. Okay? So, bye bye and see you soon. Thank you. Thank you. You too. Take care.